This episode has been sponsored by Erica Acosta from Modern Images, located in Harlingen, Texas, at 2305 East Harrison. Erica is a color specialist and Brazilian blowout certified. If you would like to set up an appointment, give her a call at 956 241 1973. Now back to the show. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Music and Beyond. I'm Ernie Crazy Eyes from Primitive Minds, Recall Productions. Thank you to our sponsor for today's show. Give her a call and she'll hook you up. Also, I want to give a huge thank you to my friend Jimbo Jones. He's listened to all my interviews on Spotify. And thank you, Jim. I hope you guys check out Music and Beyond on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, as well as YouTube as well. So today I have a special guest. I never really ever thought I was ever gonna have this guy on here or anybody from that band specifically because they're so big. But I have Julian Jorgensen from Rev Theory. How's it going, man?
Brother, it's going well, man. How you been?
I've been good, man. I've been honestly listening to you guys since I've heard you guys uh Blue Mountain State.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
when Hell Yeah I came on, I was like, holy crap, this band sounds amazing. And then you
That's
guys did the voices for Randy Orton, and then and there I just knew I had to talk to you guys one day. So
nice.
it's a huge honor to have you on here.
Yeah, brother, you too, man. Well, I appreciate what you're doing for music. So it's good to be connected with people that are passionate. And I've seen the podcast world and this whole space of being able to create your own um, your own vehicle to help the industry, or at least be passionate about the stuff that you're, be a part of stuff that you're passionate about, and to see more and more of it. I mean, I do Facebook Live, and I walk around. I do my own form of a podcast. So I've been experimenting with a number of different ways to try to connect with our community and music fans as well. And I think that there's kind of no rules right now. So love to see what you're doing, man. I love that green screen, bro. A little music and beyond. I need to get it. Well, I need to get something. I got nothing back here. It's just bush
Uh,
league.
There,
How
there's
is that?
actually a way I could probably show you after the interview, but
Okay.
there's a way that you can actually add a like any picture that you want on the background. So uh,
Okay, cool.
yeah, I was actually before pandemic. Me and my friend were working together, and we're gonna create a green screen for each interview, and then that stopped.
Nice.
So Zoom became so popular, and I was like, you know what? Like this is just an opportunity for me to show off my beautiful background. So you can.
Yeah, I actually have you on Facebook Live, so let's show the fans what's going on.
Oh
So
snap! That's
yeah, so you're
that's
you're live with our community right now. I do everything live, bro. So you know what I mean? We got to do it live, bro.
yeah, man. That's awesome, and thank you for that promotion, free promo.
Absolutely. Yeah.
By the way, to all the fans, this will be dropping Wednesday, tomorrow, Wednesday,
Okay.
October 14th. So
Nice.
just so they know, and who inspired you to pick up your instrument and or who inspired you to just join music in general?
Yeah, I started out by probably listening to the Doors. My dad listened to the Doors all the time, and when I was really young, I think I remember him playing Break On Through, and the end, and This Is the End, just on repeat. And then I ended up buying a Kiss record when I was really young. I think I got Destroyer. I got something like with tattoos, like fake tattoos in it, and I just thought it was the coolest thing. And then my stepsister introduced me to AC/DC, Motley Crue, Metallica, and all in the same time. My parents got divorced, and so So I got a stepsister at like 11 or something, and she just was like, "You're not listening to any of this Milli Vanilli anymore." She just threw out everything, the garbage that I had, and she was just like, "This is cool music." And I was like, "Fuck, you're right, that is." And then I ended up going to my first concert at age 12 at a AC/DC concert, and it was the Money Box tour, I think '86 or something like that. And Angus came out like literally with the horns like up with one hand and like just playing Thunderstruck with the other hand from like the floor. You know what I mean? And it was like the sickest concert you could ever imagine for your first concert. And he was playing SG. Robbie Krieger was playing an SG. And then I ended up being a huge fan of Soundgarden, and Kim Tail played an SG. So my first guitar was an SG. And yeah, man, I think that was kind of like the first introduction into rock and metal and music in general.
Yeah, that's amazing, man. You know, those are also amazing bands too. And you know, like when I listen to the instruments and stuff,
Yeah.
I could now I'm thinking in my head like all the songs that I like from you guys, which is pretty much all of them, and I can hear a little bit of every band that you just told me.
Nice. That's awesome. That's so cool. Yeah, man. I mean, there's a lot. Obviously, we have a lot of indirect and direct influences from our parents, and I think that's one of the coolest things about music and sound is it's just around us. We can't see it, but I think it does sort of move us and drive us. And our parents pass that down, and sometimes we rebel against it, and sometimes we embrace it. And sometimes it's sort of part of our DNA, and that's it's something you have to kind of be cognizant of in your older years. I think you have to kind of figure out a way to honor that, and be respectful of the giants that came before us.
Yeah, and you guys have been out of like you guys haven't released anything since 2016, I believe.
That's right.
And I'm not sure when was the last Rev Theory concert, but you
And
know, when was the point of time that you and Matt thought about and just said, "Hey, man, we need to continue this."
I mean, we wrote this song that we released now, 2013. We were learning how to record our own music. So that was the first time we produced and wrote anything ourselves. And we made that, and that's what you hear. So that was, before that, it was, we had to go to the studio and we had to pay a lot of money
Yeah,
to something that was, professional recording. And so 2013, we kind of learned how to do it ourselves, and we were rebelling against our own outfit. There was a lot of problems with being dropped from Interscope Records that, if any business kind of starts to fail, you have to start to kind of look at it, and you have to look at, first of all, you have to look at it as a business, which sucks to say, but it is true.
yeah,
And we are. But when you look at your business failing and you get dropped from a major label, like the pain of that was so severe that we ended up just writing a lot. And we wrote Blow It Up, we wrote Red Light Queen, we wrote all of the Revelation after that. And Maddie and me kind of did that, a lot of the heavy lifting on our own. And then we wrote Remember Me. And if you listen to the lyrics of that song, I think it's very sort of, it captures the anger that we were feeling at that time. And at that time, we kind of wanted to make a change. I mean, we wanted Maddie to sing, and because he was singing and he wanted to make it a career, and Rich was pulling away from us from the full-time commitment and had gotten married, and we weren't a family like we were 5-6 years before. So, we ended up muscling through another EP and, going for a couple cash grabs from a label. And then the Revelation was basically the final straw because Rich had promised a tour for the label. And once that deal went through and we got our advances, and Rich sang on the record, he reneged on our touring commitments, which ended up leaving us with holding the bag of, a whole new record that we couldn't really support because it didn't have Maddie on it. He didn't want to go sing Rich's parts because publicly that's kind of how it was. And we were pissed. I was pissed, and I literally just walked away from Rev Theory, and I was like, I am not doing this band anymore. It's just like, because, I don't want to fire my friend, and maybe that's partly on us and partly on me. And I don't even know if I want to make this type of music anymore. So I went down the whole rabbit hole of psychedelics, and I experimented with other types of music and projects. And I know Maddie did as well. And recently we kind of became aware that we still had this heartbeat growing around the world because of all of the Spotify's and the Blue Mountain State fans and Randy Orton. And we were sitting on almost a whole record of material that we just kind of were fed up with Rev Theory. We're like, we're not doing this anymore. So we literally were like, let's put out some music and see what happens. And here we are, so that music is, from over the last 5-6 years. And, we're still excited to get to the point, me personally, where we can actually start writing about what's going on today. And, I've already been doing that. I know Maddie has, and, so that's kind of the state of affairs in a bit of a long, convoluted way, but I feel like it probably touches upon every aspect of what happened and why, we haven't put anything out. And I hope it sheds some light on our story in a very transparent way.
Yeah, and when I heard the song "Remember Me," because when I was able to, when I was told that yes, I can talk to you, and I listened to "Remember Me" for about maybe an hour or two, just
Nice.
and because I'm a huge lyricist, and
Nice.
I was trying to get every inch of every word, and I couldn't break down the song. "Remember Me" is probably one of the hardest songs I've ever had to, kind of like figure out what that song is about. You guys did a really good job writing that.
Thanks, brother. Well, I do think now it has a couple different, meanings, or at least like you could take it a couple different ways. I think when we wrote it originally, it was a little bit of a tongue-in-cheek nod to Revelation Theory, because we are known as Revelation Theory. And, beknownst to a lot of people, we have a record called Truth is Currency that we released that ended up getting us all of those opportunities that you hear us from Hell Yeah and everything. Some people don't know that we actually are called Revelation Theory, and we've had a career before
Yeah.
all of that stuff. So, that was a bit of a nod to who we were. We are the Revelation. We are Revelation Theory. We also kind of did a little bit of a hey joke in Hell Yeah, because Hell Yeah branded us as the Hell Yeah Band. And at that time, we just literally, we felt like it made us stink like the rest of the sort of cock rock, butt rock sort of
Yeah.
movement that got excoriated from, the Hinder, Buck Cherry kind of time that we loved. We were a part of it. We had fun. We embraced it. But it also left us with a residue that was kind of past the due date. And, we weren't really those guys. We partied, we lived it up, we lit it up, but we also wanted to fucking make super heavy, cool fucking grooves and tones. And we were inspired also by the bands like Deftones and Stained and, Seven Dust and Korn and Biscuit. And like, that's kind of, and, Alice in Chains and some of, and the grunge era stuff. Like that's kind of what we were. And we became a bit of a Hell Yeah, like, which was cool, but it was like kind of hokey, and it was a Blue Mountain State comedy show theme song. And like, yeah, it opened us up to a lot of people, but a lot of people didn't really take us seriously in the metal community anymore. And we felt like that lyric specifically, like where we kind of do a chant, like in Hell Yeah, where we're like, hey, that part for us was a bit of like a, we're more than just Hell Yeah. And I think, we hope that if people dig into the lyrics that they can see there's a few layers to it.
Well, see, and I see that with Hell Yeah and with Voices, cause in Hell Yeah it's more upbeat, but with the song Voices, it's kind of dark and scary.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, Voices, the thing about Voices is, just to enlighten everybody, like, we didn't write that song. We
yeah,
didn't produce that song. We didn't play that song. Like, we actually didn't have anything to do with that song.
you guys just
Um,
recorded it.
no, no, we actually, Rich just featured on a song for the WWE.
Oh wow.
And yeah, I mean, and honestly, like for some reason it resonated, because I think the lyrics are, like you said, they're really dark. I think that it captured something in culture that both fans could relate to, and just anybody listening to the song kind of could relate to those type of, double dialogue, schizophrenic kind of concept of, this is kind of how we all live every day, right? We're struggling with these kind of inner thoughts. And I think that is why it's a timeless song. But the production of it and the sound of it is just so terrible that we literally, every time we post something and someone just puts up Voices, like, you post something, you're like, hey guys, check this new thing out, they're like, Voices. And you're just like, oh my god, guys, like, I respect the fuck out of Voices, as far as, like, thank you for coming to the party. But you know what I mean? Like, if you think it sounds good, take a listen to some of our other shit, because it fucking crushes Voices. Do you know what I mean? Like, so I hope people can see through that, and also understand that really isn't the soul of the band. It was the soul of Randy Orton's theme song. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like honestly, one of my favorite Rev Theory songs is Broken Bones.
Oh, thanks, brother.
It,
Thank you.
it it's just so beautiful, and I listen to that song at least once or twice or three times a
That's
day, and
awesome.
it's insane.
Thank you.
And is anybody from Rev Theory joining you guys?
This is Rev. This is me. It's Maddie and me. Yeah.
Oh, okay, so it's just you two for now.
Yeah. Yeah, bro.
Is there
Yeah.
anybody that you have in mind to join your band?
Not really, to be honest. Like, we just went through a divorce where we were with our family members, guys that we loved, and it was that difficult. Like, I don't know if you've been through a breakup,
Oh,
but
yeah.
right? I mean, it's fucking painful. So to, like, think about another shiny car. I mean, we brought in Ricky Licks, and that was like a fucking Ferrari with a broken transmission. You know what I mean? The guy was so riddled with problems that, like, and I love him to death, but he was a mess. You know what I mean? And it was like, we worked with Paul Phillips, who, again, incredible guy, like, sweetheart of a guy, but, like, under the hood, he had a lot of issues. And I'm not saying I don't, right? I have my own issues. We all do. But when you enter into a partnership with somebody, like, you know what I mean? Like, to predict where that's going to go, like, we're so hurt from what we went through that Maddie and me know that we can create the music that everybody listens to. And that's all we need to know, right? So, like, what we're trying to do is surround ourselves with collaborative partners, like our buddy V from Violent Idols, our buddy Clayton Ryan, my buddy Julian Baptiste, you know what I mean? Our buddy Mowgli, who directed our video. Like, we're just trying to create, like, a camp and a community of collaborators, but, like, we don't want to, like, bring someone into the band. I don't think we ever want to do it. I mean, I'm not going to say ever again, but, like, we're not looking to go buy a new car right now. You know what I mean? After, like, the last few just crapped out on us, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like the last thing we kind of want to do. We'd rather be fully self-sustainable and just continue what we want to do. You know what I mean? The way we want to do it.
That's awesome, man. And I'm honestly super excited to see you guys tour when this whole thing, pandemic thing, is over. Cause
Nice.
I'm a huge Rev Theory fan, and those three songs that I've heard from you guys that were released this year, amazing
Yeah.
album, even though they're so different from each other.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt. Well, because we had a couple side projects, so we're going to experiment with, introducing those to our community, and we're going to kind of create features of things that we did that were like not quite Rev Theory, hard hitting, kind of what people would expect. So, you know, I think you'll see more of that kind of collaboration and featuring of side projects and other styles and stuff that we're into. You know, obviously we're going to have our core of hard rock and metal, but we're also going to expand out into, you know, other territories as well that can kind of give us the opportunity to spread our wings and create some more flavors.
Is there any date settled for maybe possibly a new album or a new single or an EP?
Yeah, so right now we're just doing like single by single, and we're working towards a record. So that'll probably it's funny because it's like it's been it's a hard way to navigate the industry when you want to just go. Like I just want to go. I want to put stuff out. Like I've been so frustrated with having to be patient. Do you know
Yeah,
what I mean? And something about like, fuck, we all read something today, and guess what? Like I want to write about it. Like whether that's in a blog or whether that's in a song, or like we all witness it. Jeffrey Epstein got fucking murdered, and we're all like, oh fucking shit. And everyone does that at the same time, just like you're at a fucking horror movie, you know what I mean, with a bunch of brothers, and they're like, oh shit, you know what I mean? And you're just like, that's how the world reacts to information. And the thing is if you can't do that in real time, captured and then spat back out how you feel about it within like a week, you know, it's just kind of pointless.
yeah,
Like, so the fact that we got to wait to do release, and then 6 months later another release, 2 months later set up, like it's excruciating for the artist that the system works like this, and we're trying to change it, you know what I mean? So I'd like to make a song every month, and I'd like to put a record out at the end of that year, and then I'd like to, you can promote the shit out of that record the next year, but then I'd like to put out a song every other month for the next year, so that you're always kind of, you know, pushing new singles, but you're also getting behind a full record. But it's like we're at that point now where we're sort of gearing up for that plan. Do you know what I mean? And it's just going to take a time because we had to put a sales team together. We had to put you know, the whole sort of marketing end of it, which honestly I fucking hate. It's just the worst part of it, but it's
yeah.
part of it. You got to do it. So, you know.
I'm excited because, or like with the, I know you said you released a new single every month. How about next year you maybe release an EP, so you release a song every 2 months?
Nice. Yeah, I'm open to that. I think as long as you're putting stuff out that's new, I think you're relevant, right? Like as long as you're keeping people satiated, and you're also, like I said, being part of that conversation in the world, that's, you know, that's important. So I like that EP, every song every 2 months, like, you know, whatever we can put together and cobble together. But I do like that. Do you like EPs over records, or do you still want to hear a record?
Honestly, I love a full record, but I also do like to be teased a little bit here and there when, like, oh, you know, Rev Theory hasn't done any, like, they released an album last month, and then they
Right.
said that in 4 months they're gonna release an EP, so that's great.
Yeah. Well, you know, the funny part of it is we fucking released Remember Me a year ago.
Oh snap!
Yeah. That's my point. My point is that like, my point is that if you put something out and no one's listening, some people will listen, right? But then a year goes by and you promote that song, just like you kind of hope that someone's like, and then we get a bigger team with more reach, and then now all of a sudden people are like, yo, they got a new song out.
Yeah,
But the truth is that song is 7 years old, and it's a year old released now. So it's like you wonder what you're being fed and how you're being fed it. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like if I could literally just get you a new song after I wrote it, like wouldn't that be so much better than me having to go through all of these hoops? But right now, the way Spotify's got it and the way Facebook is, is that they're not opening up those lines of communication to the fans. Like Spotify could easily be MySpace. Do you know what I mean? Like Spotify
Yeah.
should be MySpace, and they should open up the social part of it so that we all can connect with each other in a way that's like that the bands could then unionize their communities. So right now they're not doing that. And same thing with Facebook. We got 250,000 people that like Rev Theory, but unless I spend $2,000 or $3,000, I can't let you know that I farted this morning. Like I can't let you know that I put a post up, but we have a new song. Like we just can't get the word out, right? Because it all costs money. It's all an advertising model, and Spotify doesn't do it. And they don't open up the social part of it because they don't want people to unionize. They don't want the bands to leverage their fans against them. And it's like, so that's the part that's super frustrating, but it's also somewhat of a like challenge accepted. Like we're going to try to change things. And, you know, I have a bunch of plans on the business end about how to figure that out and how to be pioneering and accepting of those challenges and work within that, but also, you know, execute some new ideas so that we can be ahead of it.
I'm gonna make sure to share everything that you guys post, Rev Theory, because
Thanks, bro.
yeah, I see it a lot, and I know friends, and I have friends that spend, you know, thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars with the Facebook promoting stuff,
Yeah,
and they just don't get that reach if they don't.
that's right. That's right. And, you know, listen, it's got to be good. Like what you're doing has to be good. You know what I mean? You have to focus on the quality, not the quantity. I do believe in that. Um, but there is like this structural deficiency in our systems that are being exploited on, whether it's politics, like whatever it is. We got a device in our hand, and I can get a fucking 20, you know, beeps a day from Fox News, CNN, blah blah blah. I mean, if it was like, you know, boom, blink, you know, Rev Theory just released, like, and the thing is that we don't have the integration quite yet. We're sort of at that early stage of integrating into all of these platforms and all this technology. So once we get it running like a fine-tuned machine, it's going to be a lot easier to get the word out. Still, you're going to need money, but I do feel like, you know what I mean, the opportunity that to actually organize who listens to us around the world is there, and we see it with all of like the Spotify's and the Amazons. It's like you got 500 plays from Japan this week. It's fucking awesome. I want to go to Japan. Like, what the hell? You know what I mean? Like, there's places all over the world that are listening to us that we now finally have the ability to check in on, and that part of it's super exciting to me.
That's gonna be awesome, man, and hopefully 2021 is a better year for, you know, being able to tour and all that stuff. Because I definitely want to see Rev Theory and, you know, everybody else that I plan on seeing this year, but because of what happened, it just sucks. And I also love damn, what are those songs called? Uh Prophets
Oh,
and
sick.
Prophet
Oh,
and
nice.
uh I love it because I love those two songs because yes, they're different from what I'm used to listening to from you guys, but also I kind of feel like we're all on drugs, you know? Like we're not gonna be able to get through this pandemic if we're not on drugs.
Yeah, you're right.
Like
You're
you
right.
guys called it, and when I heard, I'm like, wow, I need to talk to this guy about that.
That's awesome. That's all Maddie. That's his lyrics. He wrote that. He's right. Maddie's a prophet, man. He's got a lot of wisdom, and I think you're gonna hear a lot more of that when we write some new music too. So
And
yeah.
can us fans, you know, possibly maybe get a great road story from you?
A great road story. Oh my God, bro. Well, you know, they're pretty hazy.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them. Some of them are kind of X-rated, R-rated. You know, I don't know. It's so funny. Those stories are like that's the stuff that I'm ashamed of almost. You
already.
know, a little bit, like a little bit. Like I love like do you what do you love about concerts? Like what is it that you love about the live show?
Honestly, that anything could happen.
Mm.
And I have this concert T-shirt that says "Who shit in my pants," and,
Yeah.
and girls love that shirt and have shown me things.
Yeah, exactly. So you know what it's all about then.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess I answered.
No.
I guess I answered your question.
Yeah, I put it back in your court. I mean, look, what did I love? I loved seeing some of the bands we got to see and play with and share the stage with. That was awesome. Like being out with Avenged Sevenfold was like going to school, right? It was like going to university and watching like just something great. Motley Crue, they weren't the Motley Crue that they were probably, but they were pretty on point, and it was pretty cool. Evanescence was phenomenal,
Oh, nice.
and we toured for 2 months with them. They took us all over the world, and that was just like a huge break for us. And you know, we did everywhere from Germany to England to Spain and Italy, and it was wicked. That was a wicked experience, and yeah, man, I'll never forget that one, and I'll never forget the A7X, and yeah, a lot of good shows, man. So many good ones.
And is there any advice that you would give to any of the younger bands that are out there trying to, maybe become the next Rev Theory or, just trying to make it?
Yeah, I mean, I could make a joke and say just don't do it because it's really hard.
Yeah,
But but I know people are out there and they're trying to make it happen. I mean, what I do see and how I feel kind of about where we're at in the state of music. I mean, my true feeling is that music as a stock is down, right? Like it's like it's not as thought about, right? Like we take it for granted. Like now we pay 9.99 and we get everything we want. Like
yeah,
there's not a huge allegiance the way, like, the reason I like rock and metal is because there's still a hardcore allegiance to the genres, but you do see like music and making music being easier and easier to do for anyone. So what I would say is to try to branch out into creating your own form of expression. And I would say expression is a mixture of visual art, it's a mixture of writing, and it's a mixture of making sound, but it can also include, filmmaking, and it can include, um, you know, just creating content that you feel best represents how you are in that moment. And I think we have the tools to do all of that right now, which we never had before. So I think my advice would be is to expand your vision as far as what you think music is, because if you continue to look at it as four guys getting into a room and making sound and banging away at something, I think that the lottery ticket for that has gotten harder and harder to achieve.
oh
So
yeah,
you have to bring something far more dynamic to the table if you're going to be an artist and try to make a go at it.
that's so true, man. Yeah, because everybody's just streaming now and nobody's buying CDs. I still own a CD somewhere. Oh,
Nice. It's good
here's
to hear.
a CD. I got one. Uh,
Nice.
and we're almost done here, by the way.
That's okay, brother. Take your time, man. Whatever you need.
And is there anything that you would like to tell your fans?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say thank you for, sort of standing by, and I think, also, um, be open to expanding and growing with us and evolving. I think it's like there's this um, it's almost like a really, like, if this was a movie, this would be the documentary of this time would be like, this was a critical time where people chose a side. They chose a side to hold on to what they knew, or they decided to take a leap forward into the unknown. And I think that we're willing to take that step, and we hope that the fans can also do that with us and let go of some of their preconceived notions of what it is to be human. I think we can all move forward that way if we decide to approach it like that.
That's awesome, and then so true. And this one is more of a fun question, but if you were stuck in an elevator with any musician, dead or alive, who would it be, and what would you talk about?
Any musician dead or alive, and what would we talk about? Damn, that's so sick. Shit, there's so many, man. There's so many. Um, I'd like to talk about like I'd like to talk to Henry Rollins. I think he's pretty fucking cool. I think he's just a cool guy. He loves music. I think he could like enlighten me on punk rock. I think that would be really cool. Just hearing him talk about his passion for music, and I'd love to spend some time with Jim Morrison, like when he wasn't fucked up, or maybe when he was fucked up. I don't know, one or the other. I can't. Who knows what the best version you're gonna get from him, but he's definitely like a very special energy that would have been very interesting to have been able to converse with, you know. And then I don't know. I know you asked me one, but I got to do a top three. I think because it's
Oh
just
no,
too
man,
many. There's
it's all good. It's all good.
yeah. I think for some reason I feel like John Lennon would be a cool hang.
Oh man,
He would just be so real. Like that guy, there's no bullshit with that guy. I know him and Dylan, it just feels like you're just getting like real dudes that are, that are like just basically in it, they're in it and they're like willing to be as honest as possible. So, yeah, I think that would be pretty cool.
that's still that was probably the best top three I've ever gotten.
That's awesome, buddy.
And
Thanks.
where can we find you guys?
You just go to all the socials, Rev Theory official. Now the website, Rev Theory official. Spotify, Rev Theory. Facebook, Rev Theory. Instagram, Rev Theory official. And then you can check out Maddie and Mines. We have our own stuff. And you can check out just Julian Jorgensen and Maddie McCloskey. And we have our own pages and we do our own art and stuff too. So you can check all that out.
Thank you everybody for listening to my interview with Julian Jorgensen. And remember to stream all those singles that they have out. Remember Me, Profits, and damn, I always forget one.
Yeah, there's one, and then there was Drop the Hammer. We're gonna re-release
Oh,
that one pretty soon. So
oh,
we'll
nice.
probably, you know what, we can jump back on for that when we release that one. I think 2 months we're gonna do that one. So
All right, we'll definitely see you in 2 months, then that's gonna be great.
hell yeah, let's make it a regular thing, brother.
Yeah, man, and thank you so much, man. It's an honor to interview you. You know, I've been listening to you for forever. And
Nice.
thank you, everybody. Thanks again. Remember to support the sponsor and check out Rev Theory. And remember, everybody, that without music, life would be a mistake.